Alright guys, welcome back to CD's Repairs and Automotive. Today we are going to be replacing the idler pulley, which is this little guy right here. This happens to be on a 92 Chevy S10. It's a 2.8 V6 5-speed. Problem is it has a really bad loud bearing noise. Sometimes it's intermittent, sometimes it happens, sometimes you don't hear it. So what it is the bearing inside of this pulley, and I'll show you that in just a second. Get fails on these, and it's either locks up, and your belt will. You'll get out in the morning, you got to crank the vehicle up, and it'll just start screaming, and you're wondering, what's seized. And sometimes it's the other pulley. Sometimes it could be a bad tensioner. It could be a bad belt. Any of those things could cause a squeaking noise or screaming noise on a serpentine belt engine. So, let's go ahead and get the tools ready and start tearing this thing apart. Alrighty, so this is the little guy that we're replacing today. Now oftentimes, certain applications you can actually get just this bearing right here in the middle, and oftentimes you'll just replace it. Sometimes it's cheaper than getting just the whole pulley, and sometimes getting the whole pulley is cheaper than getting the bearing. Just depends on what type of vehicle you have. Now, this may be a little bit different than your vehicle. I've had to replace an idler pulley, but it's pretty much the same thing of how to getting there and changing it. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get a ratchet. You can use a extendable 3/8 ratchet for the serpentine belt tensioner, because you're going to have to take the belt off in order to get this pulley off first. The belt's nut size is a 15mm, which is this little guy right here. I got this kit, best kit in the world. I got this at Harbor Freight. It's an 8-piece kit, 15, 14, and 13 wrenches size, 15, 16, and 18, and you get the whole extendable bar, and it's really thin to get in small crevices, especially on Hondas. You could put this like this and extends it even farther. So, go ahead and take our 15mm ratchet and alright, so what you're going to do is put it on the tensioner, which is located right here where I've got it on the nut. Pull to the left. Now in certain vehicles it could be to the right, it could be to the left. This vehicle's to the left. So take your hand, pull this bad boy to the left, and as you can see, it unloosens the belt. And then take your other hand and take the belt off the alternator and lay it to the side. You don't have to take the whole belt off. Just slide it off the alternator and out from underneath the pulley just to get to the pulley. You don't need to take the whole belt off. Okay, so just lay that belt to the side. Like I said, you don't need to take it all the way off. Take your ratchet. Now, I got this at AutoZone, if you're wondering. It's a Duralast lifetime warranty. I think I paid somewhere around close to 20-something for it. I think it extends up to about 10 inches or so. Best thing in the world. So 15mm. Whole thing should come off. Okay, so here's the new pulley, here's the old one. Now what you want to do is next is make sure the inner side diameter is the same size as the new one, which mine is. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see that it is. Next thing you want to do is make sure that they are the same width. Kind of hard to do with one hand. You kind of tell maybe this one's a little bit wider, but that's not going to hurt anything. Shouldn't have any issues. Another thing, this is what fails. Like I said, guys, it's really pitted. You can't really see it, but I can really feel it with my finger, and it's shot completely. It's really, really bad. I don't know if this will come up on camera or not. But if you can hear that, you can tell that that bearing is gone. And when you spin it, it doesn't want to spin. If I get my finger in to stay, you see it stops. Should not do that. A good bearing should spin like this. with no problem. Okay, so what you want to do is take the inner piece, put that bad boy on there. This goes in the center just like that, and then back on the truck it goes. But before we do all that, one thing I like to do is take some lubricant anti-seize. You can get this at any local auto parts store. Best stuff in the world. Just put a little bit of anti-seize. You don't need much, just a little bit on the threads, and then snuggle back down. Like I said, you do not need much, just a little bit. And that pretty much should do her. Come on, camera, focus. Anyway, you get the picture. Kind of really hard to do it with one hand. It's not the easiest, but we'll get her on there. Okay, she's on there. Go ahead and snug her down. You don't need to over tighten it. Just snug fit, tight should be good enough. You'll destroy the bearing inside. That's pretty much all you get right there. You don't need to go to the end of the ratchet or extend it or nothing like that to tighten this thing down. Should spin, if you can tell. It's very quiet, smooth. That's a good pulley. I should have showed you guys before I took it off. You can hear how bad that it grinds. Because that other pulley and bearing is shot. So let's go ahead and get this belt back on, and we'll go from there. Alright, so the belt light's on, and everything's tightened down, everything's snug, like it should be. One thing I want to note is, if you have trouble and you got to take the belt off to replace either your alternator, your serpentine, your serpentine belt, a nitro pulley, a tensioner, whatever the case may be, and you don't know how to get the belt back on, you're wondering, how in the world do I know what goes where it wraps here, there, everything? First of all, you can Google it. Just about every vehicle, Google it. Specifically, say 92 Chevy S10 serpentine belt diagram. Pretty much pulls it up. But most of the times, you can go down on your fan shroud on certain vehicles, and it has the diagram right here if you ever get lost or don't know how to put it back on. So that's basically how it goes. Really simple, easy. Shows you with AC and without AC. Most vehicles have that somewhere located underneath the engine bay. You just got to look for it. It should be right there. Some of them may not. That's basically how you do it. Make sure everything's on. Tighten down, snug. Everything's back in the grooves like it should be. Belt's tight. It's not going anywhere. Alright, let's go ahead and fire it up. Alright, so for like kitten, make sure there's no issue with the belt. Make sure it's not falling off, squeaking, which it's not. Everything's smooth, good to go. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. That's how you replace your idler pulley, specifically on the 92 Chevy S10 2.8 V6. Thanks for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the bottom. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I make how to repair videos just about every other week, whenever possible, whenever I can. Thanks for watching. Have a great day or night. Stay tuned for more.